Welcome to day 26. So it's going to be a great day. I have put up a lot of music on the centered flute for you to take a look at. I'm thinking ahead for your next project. Whether you like it or not, there's always something to be working on. And you have done such good work. I'm really feeling like if you've stuck with this 30-day plan, then the Bach is really coming together and you won't have to spend quite as much time on your audition music, which will free up some of your time to start working on the next project, which I would like to encourage you to think about some competitions. I'm listing competitions that you might want to try if you live in the Kansas City area. Nationally, there's always the National Flute Association competition. They have one for high school soloists. So I am going to probably make some videos for that if you want to play along with me in the future. But two of the songs that you need to learn are actually available on Flute Tunes, so you could download them today and take a look at them. So that information I'm going to show you on the video as we're playing, and it's at the Centered Flute. What else do we need to talk about? I think that everything you need is at the Centered Flute if you want books and videos on performance anxiety and audition tips. We're going to practice them today and for the rest of our videos until day 30. So I think you're set to go. Let's get started. Before we begin our day 26 chromatic scales, I wanted to point out some stuff that I've found online that I'm very excited about. On the National Flute Association website, you can find their competitions that they have. And they have a high school soloist competition that I want to encourage you to check out and maybe make an audition tape for and send it in. So two of the songs that you have to play for the preliminary round that you would videotape yourselves playing are on flutetunes.com. So you don't even need to buy the music. You can just start learning it. And I suggest on day 31, you start working on these two pieces. So I wanted to point them out. We have a Fantasia number 5 by Telemann. And if you don't know the Telemann Fantasies, this would be a great introduction. They're fantastic, written for solo flute, and they're so beautiful. It's amazing. There's 12 of them. So this is number 5. The other piece that you would be working on is this piece by Jules Moquet, Pan et les Bergères, from La Flûte de Pan. So these are great. They are really a part of flute repertoire, so it's good to get to know them. This also, the Pan et les Bergères, has the flute and piano music. So there's no excuse. You can get started right away. And I think I'll be making some videotapes to practice with those as well, just to get my students motivated. So with that in mind, future projects and exciting things to accomplish, let's get started on our chromatic scale. Today I'm setting the metronome at 96, and we're going to do this same little chromatic scale game to warm us up, inspired by Paula Robeson's Orange Juice warm-up. So we're going to do 2 octaves starting on low C. Let's slur up and tongue down just to get us ready for the auditions. Okay, here we go. 2 octaves. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Good, let's try the next one on C sharp. So 2 octaves on C sharp. Really good, deep breath in. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, let's try D. 2 octaves up. 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. Now we're going to move up into the upper octaves. So we're going to start on this A sharp. Same thing as B flat, and we're going to go up to the high A sharp. Deep breath in. 1, 2, ready, go. Very good. Now try to do it all in one breath. So deep breath in, ready, go. Very good. If you can't do it in one breath, that's okay. It's a real challenge, so keep working on it. All right, last one, high C. So we're going to start on this C in the staff. Okay, deep breath in, shoulders back and down. Ready, go. Excellent. Okay, so that's our chromatic scale warm-up for the day. Now we're going to work on our flat scales, and we're going to, once again, do our arpeggios. So we're going to do 16th notes like we're doing in the auditions. And we're going to do the arpeggios as trios, or as triplets. Okay, so here, let's try F major, B flat, E flat, and A flat. So we're just going to do the ones with flats. Is everything in there? It's really hard to see on this camera. There's F major. Okay, so it's the top one. Okay, we got it. You have these memorized, right? All right, let's try F major, 16th notes, and then we'll do the arpeggio as triplets. So deep breath in. Ready, go. Now triplets, go. Very good. Now this time let's do it again, and there's not going to be a break in between. We'll just take a breath and then go right into the arpeggios. Okay, let's try it. Deep breath in. Ready, go. Very good. Let's try B flat major. So 16th notes on the scale. Deep breath in. Ready, go. Good, let's try it again. It gets better the second time. Okay, ready, go. Good, let's do E flat major. Ready, go. Try it again. Ready, go. Good. Now the last one, A flat major. 4 flats. Deep breath in. Ready, go. try that. Sorry, folks. Let me try that again. So we're going to do the scale and the arpeggio. Ready, go. There we go. I really like to leave my mistakes in these videos, even though I'd love for you all to think I play perfectly. They happen, and you just do it again, and you practice it, and it works. I looked up because my cat jumped up on a table, and I forgot where I was. So, okay, thanks for sticking with me. Now, here we go. We have our next project, which I'm very excited about you doing. We're going to take a look at the Polonaise and the double today. And the challenge for you is I want you to record yourself. So what you're going to do is either use your computer that you're watching this on or a phone or whatever you have to record yourself. And I want you to stop this video and do that. So I want you to, how about let's just work on the first part of this. So work on the Polonaise. See if you can play it straight through. Take the repeats and try it. And see if you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, I want you to circle or somehow mark where you had some trouble. And you know that's where you're going to need to practice, okay? So then practice those sections and then try to videotape yourself or video record yourself one more time with those mistakes corrected. This is just, remember, kind of a barometer to see where you are and what you can do with no problem. Hopefully, you can play straight through and not have any big mistakes. Okay, so this is the time to stop the video for the Polonaise and then turn it back on when you're done and we'll talk about the double. Okay, so hopefully you've done the recording of the Polonaise. The next step is to record the double. It's so important to record yourself when you're playing. You really need to be able to hear what other people are hearing when they hear you play. And there's something that happens when we're recording ourselves. We become much more critical and we're better listeners. And it's kind of incredible to see how my students change when they're recording themselves. They hear a lot more. I think sometimes when we're playing, we become lazy. So now I want you to try to go straight through the double. Try it maybe with no repeats, just so you can get straight through it. And then circle what you had trouble with. Take note of it. These are the spots that you're going to have to play 3 times in a row, 5 times in a row, daily for a while until you can play the whole thing with no mistakes. Okay, so go ahead and record yourself and then push play and we'll keep going once you're done with that. Okay, so now you've recorded both the Polonaise and the double and you are ready to practice for the audition. So what we're going to do is we're going to treat it again like you are in the audition, so we're going to separate things a little bit. Today, we're going to do our major scales, and I want us to practice the A major scale and the E major scale. Most of the times, one of those is what's chosen. Not always, but probably not G, but you want to be careful because they might choose it this year. So let's practice A major first. We're going to try to go up and down. And I'm going to turn on the metronome. Let's see, here's 60. Let's think of it like 16th notes and see if you can do it. Okay, so here we go. A major, 3 sharps, 16th notes, slur up, tongue down. Ready, go. All right, now if that felt a little fast, I want us to slow it down. So I'm going to put it on 80, now let's put it on 92, and we're going to do 8th notes, okay? Even if you play it clean as 8th notes, you're going to do a fantastic job on your auditions because the goal is to get your scale really clean and really musical. So don't worry about going slow. Okay, so let's try 8th notes. Same scale, A major. 1 and 2 and ready, go. that felt too fast, then slow it down again. Just pause this video and try it again. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. We're at E major now. So we have 4 sharps, and we're going to try 92 for 8th notes. So deep breath in, ready, go. Very good. Let's try it one more time just to practice it. 60 with 16th notes. Okay. Deep breath in. You can do this. Ready, go. Okay, now we're going to play our solo from the Bach for our audition. So let's pretend you walk into the room and you can see that they want you to play the second half of the Badinerie. So what I want for you to do is to think about aspects of this piece that you know. I want you to think about how, oh yes, I've got to breathe really well in this first line that I'm going to play, because you don't have much time to breathe, unlike the top part. So you've got to be ready for the air. And then as you come down and finish it out, you want to think slow on the 30-second notes and really end with a bang. You really want it to sound like the whole orchestra is behind you and you're sounding great and the audience can't wait to clap for you. So I'm going to turn the metronome on to keep us going so we don't stop. It's going to be quarter notes this time. We've always played it on 8th notes, but we're going to try quarter notes. Okay, so let's give it a try. Breathe in deeply. Ready, go. And there you have it. So that's your solo. Now let's imagine that you have to go into the other room. There's usually 2 rooms, and they want you to play the chromatic scale and your sight reading. So let's try that. Okay. So how shall we play our chromatic scale? Let's play it like 8th notes, all the way up and down. I'm just going to put it at 80 so we can go nice and slow, but well, more like medium speed. Okay, so deep breath in. You can do this. Fill your mind with a sense of I can do this and say it in your mind, okay? Ready, go. Very good. Okay, now we're going to go to sight reading. For our sight reading for day 26, we're imagining that we are in our audition and you're looking at this music for the first time. This music is by a great Kansas City composer named David Izzard, and he wrote this piece for flute and harp, and he also has a version for flute and piano, which I'm going to be recording this month. So I really love this music. I wanted to have this as your sight reading because it starts with a little chromatic scale. So you'll see these things in your music, and this is why it's so good to have your chromatic scale and scales in your fingers, because when you're sight reading something, you can learn it a lot faster if you already know these scales. We're going to play the first 3 lines, so we're going to stop here. Now we have to think about this as we're sight reading. There's nothing over here that's giving us any clues. could be in your sight reading that there's really no speed or key designated. So you're just going to have to figure out what you want to do. So figure out how fast do you want those 16th notes to be. They don't have to be fast if you don't want them to be. If you want to just go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a, you can set your tempo nice and slow, okay? And I'm going to do that. It's always good to play it safe when you're sight reading in an audition. So let's see, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Let's try this. Deep breath in. Always keep your eyes moving forward and don't stop. Okay, here we go. So that's the piece. That's sight reading for you for today. So we're going to continue to talk about auditioning. I want to give you some tips for ways that you can wrap your mind around thinking about stuff right before you put up your flute and play in an audition. But first, let me play this one more time for you just so you can hear it because it's a great piece. It's called Syzygy. I'm going to try to play it more up to tempo. It's great. Okay, so there we have it. We're going to start on day 27 next time. We have then after that just 3 more days. It's amazing. So here we go. Let's keep working.